Hello my beautiful and lovely gamers, my name is Jonal today. Now let's talk about how to improve as Widowmaker. More importantly, we're talking about how to improve your accuracy and essentially how to also improve your headshot accuracy, because that is the important part of a Widowmaker's kit. That is one of the few problems with Widowmaker and why she is really strong and really broken in very high elos and very much of a niche pick, or a very you could say a bad pick almost in the lower elos, just because if you miss too many shots or you don't land the amount of headshot that you would want to, it is so, your damage output is so low comparatively to a soldier where, okay, you miss a couple shots and you're a Cree, okay, you miss a couple of shots, you still have like you miss 2 shots, okay, and they still, sure, you land 4 body shots, and then you can combo roll and 4 more body shots, right? That's still a pretty decent amount of damage that comes pretty decent at a good speed, including the new Phantom of the Hammer buff and so on. So Widowmaker has this issue that you're very reliant on aim. So let's talk about how to get your aim much stronger or much better and more consistent than it is right now, especially a headshot aim. So of course you can always do Anabots. Anabots is, you know, the staple of aim practice for a lot of people, and you can of course also use other aim tool like Aim Hero or something like that, and make sure there's always similar sense or the same sense as you would have in Overwatch for everything, your scope sense and all of that. But personally, and the thing that helped me become a better Widowmaker myself, especially mechanically, because of course my game sense has always been good. I understand how to push and flank and where to put my Widowmaker and so on, so how to attack different areas normally with a Widowmaker. It has always just been my mechanics that have been a problem. So what I used to do, and what I'm still doing from time to time now, is Widow headshot only, and it's a god's gift. It's something that you don't have that much for other heroes. For a lot of other heroes, it is not as good or as efficient to bring, because with Widowmaker, a lot of time you will be meeting another Widowmaker, since what counters Widowmaker is one of those few heroes where picking another one is a lot of time the best counter to it, because of range and reach of other heroes and spacing from your enemy team's tank line and so on. A lot of time diving onto her and pressuring that way can be pretty of an inefficient way, comparing to just picking your Widowmaker that is better, and you can just outdo her by headshotting her before she headshots anyone on your team. So highly recommending you guys doing that. And not just that, but when you do it, please, there are a lot of Widowmakers that is really good out there. So watch how the other people do it. Do you die too much? Okay, do you need to strafe? Are you hard scoping too much or standing too much still? And what do you need to work on? For example, I know that I really need to work on my close range Widow because of my low sensitivity. I can normally land my shots if the enemy Widowmaker is at what I like to call my optimal range, which is a decent distance away from me. I can normally land the headshots pretty comfortably, especially if I have a little bit of time to actually get the scope in. And even, you know, just quick scoping or more flicking onto them is even acceptable at that range. In close range, for me, it's very difficult to do because of my low sensitivity, and I'm not used to doing that kind of flicks. I do it with Genji, I do it with hands up, but not with a Widowmaker scope. For me, that's really uncomfortable. That I know that's something. Also, really far shot is something that I need to work on, which I've been working on a little bit by not moving my mouse as much and moving my using strafing. So I'll aim down sight, I'll keep them across, and then I'll strafe into them to kind of adjust it onto their head on the longer ranges. That is the stuff that I need to work on. My bobbing and weaving I know is pretty good. I normally don't get shot too much there, but that's something that you guys should definitely do. Watch other players. There are Widowmakers out there that are incredibly good, and they are a lot of them are in the lobbies of Widowmaker headshot only. So if you're getting some, look what they are doing, look what you're doing. Watch the kill cam, because then you also see how does my character model look when they're aiming at me, right? Am I doing good strafing? Am I not? Was I standing still? So also watching the full kill cams of some of these Widowmaker headshot only modes is really effective. Or you can always just set up your own just for fun. That is really my best tip to improve your stuff with Widowmaker. I personally like to have the same scope sense as I have in-game sense. That's of course something that is incredibly personal, so that's something that you guys will have to find out yourself. Also, I like to have making sure that, you know, you always have a decent crosshair that is small enough so you can actually get it onto their head, especially in the longer ranges, so that if you have a too large crosshair or with too much, you know, shit in it, it can actually be pretty complicated. Like, is it on the head right now, or am I just aiming outside of his head hitbox? So having a decent crosshair for that is also something that I highly do recommend you guys checking out if that is something that you are struggling with. Also with a good color, so it's highlighting from the screen, not white but a green. But again, that's also incredibly individual for each individual player. So that's really all for this video. I hope that it helps. That is personally how I would tell you guys to train and practice and improve, and I can make a more in-depth guide on Widowmaker and her strafing patterns, positioning, or whatever. If you guys want, you can tell me down in the comment section below or on our Discord server, which I will link down that description. As always, guys, if you're gonna want to hire me as a coach, you guys can also hit me up on Discord, and we can set up a private coaching session. Of course, it does cost money. Depending on when this is released, it is either 50 or 40 euros for a 2-hour session, depending on when this video comes out. So just hit me up and we can hopefully plan and set up something together. Now, I love you guys very, very much. Please, as always, guys, take care of yourself and keep the enemy in your crosshair.